What's up, y'all? It's FortWorthFabian, BigBossFabo, back with a video for you guys, man. I'm excited for this reaction I'm doing right now. It's a documentary to Wiz Khalifa, Still Rolling Papers, which actually dropped March 29th, like 2 days ago on his YouTube channel. And Still Rolling Papers is a 30-minute doc about Wiz's journey from Hopetown hero to global superstar. Story about how a crew of friends took their dreams into their own hands and built one of the most impactful movements in hip-hop. Story of resilience, self-belief, taking risk, and ignoring outside pressure. Doc features Chevy Woods, Currency, Snoop, Wiz, more as they reflect on 10 plus years of Taylor Gang, man. So, hey, if you don't know who Wiz Khalifa is, he's a hip-hop artist, an artist in general. I don't even like to put him in a box. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, man. Mr. Black and Yellow himself. Black and Yellow, I believe, was his biggest hit. Or if not, it's probably the See You Again song he has with Charlie Sloth. He did that See You Again song that was on the theme song to Fast and Furious, right after Paul Walker had passed. And that song ended up going diamond. Not even platinum, bro. It went diamond. So Wiz is one of those rare artists who got a diamond record. He's got a song. That song has over 1 billion views on YouTube. He's one of those artists that got 1 billion, one of those rare 1 billion view type of videos. Wiz is just a great artist in terms of the impact he's had on the culture, right? We know Wiz for being like what they call Baby Snoop. At one point, they were saying he was the second coming of Snoop Dogg, right? Because the heavy marijuana influence, the tall lankiness to him. He's like 6'4" and just skinny. I mean, now Wiz has put on more muscle. He's a little bit more bulkier, but that's aside from the point. Wiz just had a certain influence and impact on the culture. He was a trendsetter. Everybody wanted to roll papers. Everybody wanted to have the little fro with the snapback on, or the little fro with the fitted on. He set a lot of trends, and during a certain time, everybody wanted to be Wiz. You know what I mean? So with that being said, let's hop into this reaction. I'm just excited because Wiz is one of those artists I always give flowers to in terms of, man, I was really inspired by the movement and the impact he had, and he's still influential to this day. He may not be, all in the starlight, but he's still a global star and one of the highest earning hip hop artists on the Forbes list. And he's like one of the highest earning out of the generation and just overall. Like, he's out earning some of the actual vets in hip hop, vets within this industry, because he has such a business savvy. I mean, Wiz's brand will be around for forever, if not for years to come. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just smart with how he moves. All right, let's get into this doc.
Yo, what up? Let's keep it going.
Everybody just called me Wiz. When I was younger, they would say I was wise beyond my years. And Khalifa is Arabic. It means leader, successor, someone who's going to be a shining light and really be an example for people.
Wise leader, wise successor. That's what his name stands for. They call him Wiz because he was a wizard. He was smart behind his years. And he's Khalifa, the second name Arabic for wise, successor, leader. That's a very symbolic name. People are like, oh, his name Wiz Khalifa. That's a cool name. But it's like, bro, it got meaning to it.
My name's Wiz Khalifa, straight out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 412.
Oh, the Pittsburgh chain, man.
Okay, captain of the Taylor Gang. One more time.
Okay. Hey, I remember that video.
Make some noise for Wiz Khalifa and Rolling Paper!
10 years sounds like a lot, but it don't feel like that much. It still feels fresh. It still feels good. For me, it's when I look back at the footage, because I'm always in it when I'm there. I'm completely in the moment, like, nigga, living that shit. But when I look,
no lie, he got everybody having a little what's it called in their hair. When he was super popular, the little patch. Everybody got this dyed patch. If you was wondering when you saw little black kids with a fro and a yellow patch, what is this style? Where did it come from? For the new generation, that was Wiz Khalifa. Supposedly, Wiz said this was like a Daddy Kane influence. I said Daddy Kane, Big Daddy Kane influence or something like that. That's past my generation. I wouldn't know. But when the new kids started doing it, it was because of this guy right here.
10 years sounds like a lot, but it don't feel like that much. It still feels fresh. It still feels good. For me, it's when I look back at the footage, because I'm always in it when I'm there. I'm completely in the moment, like, nigga, living that shit. But when I look back, I'm like, whoa, we did some fucking magnificent shit. Like, it fucking blows my mind, some of the stuff we've done, yo, like, for real.
No cap.
I make handmade goods and sell them to my community on Instagram. But when my DMs started blowing up, I needed a solution.
That boy blowing that dope.
Wiz is the Rocky Balboa of Pittsburgh.
I've never seen anything like it.
People who know. He cares about the world and cares about people.
He's an icon now.
It was like the next era of rap.
And they say, oh, I rap about niggas and champagne. Hey, he from the block.
We're from a neighborhood called Hazelwood in Pittsburgh. I moved all around Pittsburgh, but that's the nucleus for me. That's where all my partners is from.
We didn't get in no club yesterday, dog. And the same thing happened on Friday.
We just keep trying to get in and they don't let us in. They don't be letting us in nowhere.
I remember him as just like this lanky kid with big clothes. He was already wearing Chuck Taylors at that point. He always had the P hat on. He always had the pirate hat on. One of my homies, Freeze, he already knew of Wiz and knew some people around him. He introduced us in the studio and we made a song that night, so that's where it started. He always was upbeat. He always was trying to do something, always creating. You know, he brought a good spirit to the studio, so we always had fun.
I'm fucking high.
R.I.P. to my dog Mac Miller, man. These are the real two Pittsburgh legends right here, Wiz and Mac. Unfortunately, they kind of had like a falling out towards the end and where Mac had passed. I'm not sure what happened, but man, these are the Pittsburgh GOATs right here.
I met Wiz a couple times, like around the neighborhood, because he went to school with a lot of my cousins. They all went to the same high school. And I think Chevy went to the studio maybe like 04, 05. And he was like, yo, Wiz got the complete package. Like, I gotta get you in the studio with him.
Sledging on the beat.
We just bonded. I don't know how it happened. It just happened. Like, nobody forced it. When I was in high school, like, I used to wear Chucks and people used to tease me and stuff. So when he had them on, like, it just went hand in hand. Like, talked about smoking papers. Like, my parents smoked papers. It was just organic.
I always got teased for wearing Chucks, but I was in high school, so it was like I wasn't spending all my money on clothes. Like, I was spending mine on weed and the studio. Like, that was it. Somehow I became the face of what the heck was going on, and so people started knowing us for wearing Chucks.
Damn, it feels good to be a tailor, to rock camo shorts, Chuck tees, and roll papers.
It just happened in stages, you know? When I started, it was just about music and just about being hungry and just loving what I do and trying to get better and better. And then that developed into a passion where I was like, okay, now I can hustle and do what I love at the same time. Also through that time, I met E-Dan and Chad and Huggy, and they were kind of like schooling me to the game that they had been brought up in. So I was able to just be like a student of the game.
Wiz Khalifa is my homie and musical brother, the kid that came into my life and gave me a place in the larger world of music.
That's crazy. Because E-Dan essentially brought Wiz in. We know the story. If you know Wiz, the stories of E-Dan, a kid who he was able to put up in the studio just in exchange for, you know, just like working there. Supposedly Wiz was like, he would do small things or small chores around the studio for free recording time. And that's, you know, that's a blessing, right? To be able to record for free and really get that artistic expression out and just be consistent and really work at the craft. You know, you got to have people in your life that'll believe in the dream and the goal. They'll believe in you. They'll set you up. And you look how Wiz was able to return the favor. He just said that basically Wiz solidified him in, you know, music officially because, you know, you have all these people around the small towns and small cities who have these small studios. They're passionate about music. Imagine if a kid came through to your studio and he became a star and, you know, he basically probably just solidified your brand, your name, you know, in the history of this profession. And it kind of, you know, adds stuff to the credibility, you know, to the resume, so to speak. So, have fun, y'all.
It's still the same people around Wiz that it was then.
When I say Taylor, y'all say gang. Taylor.
Hey, DJ Taylor.
I've basically done every single show with Wiz except for like 4.
Baby, I'm a rich ass nigga, never said I was gonna be easy to deal with. But I be on some real shit.
This is a nod to Wiz's influence. He hit me on MySpace, and I was like, for sure, yeah, let's jam up and do some shit. And then I forgot. And then Twitter came out, and Taylor Gang people were insane even then. All right, there was already a frenzied thing behind this kid.
I'm fucking smoking out here, huh?
So he said on Twitter one day,
I'm smoking, yeah?
Yeah, I sent the record to Spitter, you know, but he never did it. Or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So they were like, yo, fucking, you let Wiz down. Fucking, why didn't you do this record? Everybody fucking like, oh, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, my bad, man. Let's do a record fucking today. He came down to kick it, and I was like, well, shit, man, I'm glad you were cool
Classic
in
songs.
actual life, because we both had been around so many artists that you might have thought they was cool, and then you jam up with them, and it's like, oh, man, like, you know, you never turn this off, like, this is what you really think life is, you know what I'm saying? So we just stepped back and realized we both agreed on what was wrong with the game and what we wasn't going to do to get where we wanted to get at. And we knew if we put it together, it would be strong.
It's crazy. I remember watching these mini clips and vlogs, right? Like Wiz used to have a channel. I think they're still on his channel to this day, to where he was running his own YouTube account, vlogging. He was doing shows, you know, going on the road. And I'm talking about him just renting a vehicle, going with his manager, driving to a show. This is when he didn't really have security rolling with him. He didn't really have the X, Y, and Z, the tour bus. It was homegrown. He was literally doing it himself. And he built a brand organically. Like, during the internet era where Twitter and all that popped, Wiz was like the forefront of that. Of course, you got the Soulja Boys and the internet stars, but Wiz Khalifa had a very unique influence in that internet era. And how he was able to leverage it for his career was unmatched. But to see how he had developed a relationship with Currency during this time was it was hard, though, because their sound just meshed perfectly.
Yeah. When he came to hang out, he was still smoking blunts. And I was like, all right, check it out. We can make music, but I hate how that shit smell. You should try this. There was no warning from the Surgeon General on the package. $2 for 32 opportunities to smoke, as opposed to $7 for 5.
I had to smoke papers for like 2 weeks. He's like, bruh, we're not smoking that shit. But at that point, that's when I started playing with melodies and, you know, just feeling myself out as more of a producer than just a writer, of making a production out of the song. You gotta give it up to my dog,
man.
Spitter.
RP Nipsey, bro. My dog Nip, man. I remember this clearly. It was Currency. I think it was actually Big Sean, Currency, Wiz Khalifa, Nipsey Hussle, and French Montana in the studio session.
Feeling myself out as more of a producer than just a writer, of making a production out of the song.
Nip.
You gotta give it up to my dog Spitter. Like, Spitter he's the OG to the OG. He's the double OG. He made the rule, and we enforced it.
We don't smoke blunts, fam.
No lie.
Papers only. Clear the runway, baby. I get money from Sunday to Sunday, lady.
Orientation tour, House Fly on the way, Taylor Gang.
When I first met Wiz, I started out as just booking some shows. Then I became his assistant, then his road manager, then tour manager, then co-manager, and then business partner and manager. Wiz knew I was his guy the first time that we had an incident with the police.
So we see the police coming.
One of the two of us went to jail, and it wasn't him.
Will rolled and it was like, the police was looking at him like, what the fuck? The thing about Taylor Gang is we're all an extension of each other.
Top 4.
There was a lot at stake at the time. So on top of being motivated and inspired, you got to be able to protect what we're building as well.
At this time, he was kind of like just moving around on his own, and he was doing little shows and little tours here and there. Then once things got rolling, I had got incarcerated, and I'm sitting in my cell and watching MTV, and they playing videos, and it's like, yeah, next video is Wiz Khalifa, say yeah, and I'm like, what? Like, this shit is about to be like something, you know what I'm saying? And then
I ain't gonna lie, say yeah was a banger. Banger.
It really just came into play. Like, I come home, you know, there was Bonix, the D.
Sonically, it was a banger. It wasn't a banger to, you know, public opinion. But that had all the makings to be a commercial mainstream hit. Like, Warner Brothers just didn't market Wiz Khalifa right.
Yeah. Chevy being his hype man. Sledgerin doing the beats, Will running things, making sure everything's in play.
Yeah, bitch!
And me with the merch, it was just like, that was where I wanted to just step in and just be hands-on and help. His uncle was handling merch, and it was me.
The entourage's role is usually just a role to be the entourage, but everybody that is around Wiz has a job, and nobody had just one job. Everybody was trying to help out wherever we could.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I like, to where, you know, the top dog
in 2014.
The top dog will put family and friends in positions to win. You're not just in my entourage to be, you know, additional bodies of protective security or whatever it is. You in my entourage to get this bread with me. I'm the breadwinner. Of course, I'm making all this cake, but guess what? We're going to put merchandise out. We're going to have, you know, we're going to invest here. We're going to have you run or manage the tours. We're going to have you, you know, set up the merchandise, you know, at each show. We're going to have you set up everything. Like, there's all types of things people can do to assist the team or the conglomerate.
Next week's episodes of Day to Day, your favorite fucking stoners will be in LA.
LA, bitch.
These are the people that I trusted with my brand, my life, my music, my family, my business. So we were able to grow together and represent the same things. And that's where Taylor Gang came from. It was like, all right, well, what's gonna be our name? We wear Taylor, so it's like Taylor Gang, you know what I mean?
First class behind.
Taylor Gang.
I felt like he was more popping outside of Pittsburgh before he was in Pittsburgh, you know? There was this free outdoor show that Wiz did. There were so many people. This was a crazy free show. They rushed the stage, they broke the barrier, and they rushed the stage, and Wiz had to run off the stage.
I remember this show.
It was like complete fucking chaos.
He tripped and fell trying to get away. The thing about Wiz, bruh, his fan base is die hard. That's the crazy thing. It's real organic. You know, when you build up a fan base of true supporters, they're going to ride with you regardless. But that's crazy. In Boston, he was more popping than he was in the Berg.
6 months later, I'm in the studio at my radio station, and I'm planning to quit because Will calls me and he goes, yo, Wiz got signed to Atlantic, and we're going to do our first tour bus tour this fall, and we need a DJ.
I got Wiz, that bitch ass nigga. I caught him slipping. We took his chain, we took his tour bus, I took his mom too, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Dude, we got your family, nigga. We got your family, nigga. I got his tour manager too. The nigga work for me now. Hey, Will, go give me some chucks, nigga. Taylor Gang or what? Yeah.
He said I caught that nigga Will slipping.
We have been keeping it on the low that I was going to sign to Atlantic for a while because they didn't want to step on the buzz that I already had. They were like, yo, you're hot. Like, you're on fire right now. Let's just sign you on the low and then, like, announce it.
You put the groundwork in with the mixtape, selling out the shows yourself, then you get the deal. Then your record goes, and like, it's the right way. You feel what I'm saying?
That's the motivation, to just do new things. Right. I came up out of my situation, and then now I'm where I'm at now. So,
like, this is the true embodiment of being an artist. Wiz Khalifa literally did it independently from the ground up. He got picked up by a major. He got shelved. He got dropped to then go independent for X amount of years to then get picked up by Atlantic and just kind of really revel or come into what was in the making the whole time. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, you got to stay down till you really come up. And the fact that, because you got the industry plants, people who may blow up off of one song, they haven't really lived the life in terms of, you know, day in and day out, you know, being on the road. Grinding it out in terms of maybe you're independent and you have to find other ways to make money, sell merchandise, sell maybe physical copies, or maybe, you know, a mixtape or whatever you got going on, an album, whatever it is, bro. But a lot of these dudes just did it themselves. And Wiz's story is so unique. I'm telling you, if you really like pay attention to this story, he literally did it on his own in terms of, at a point in time, he was just grinding it out. He was spending all his time on the road. Imagine spending like a majority of a year, or majority of his years, because Wiz really just spent time on the road, just traveling throughout the country and then circling back and traveling throughout the country again, and just organically building a fan base through seeing an intimate type of interaction. You see me at a show, I'm back again, maybe within a couple months. And that's how he built, like, I feel like his core tailors.
So all the hard work that I put in is just kind of like, it's teaching me more and more.
We want to present you with something special. 62 shows deep, sold out.
I got weed in my hand right now. Bacon, bitch, smoke something.
Getting to the point where we signed a deal with Atlantic was 4 or 5 years of sort of being in the trenches and making mixtapes.
Yeah.
It was such a
like I just said, 4 years of just making mixtapes and hitting the road. That's putting in work. Like, he lived it. He was in and day out. He was really the embodiment of living the life as an artist. Whereas some folks, they blow off of one song and then they're thrown into the lifestyle. Oh, now I'm on tour every day. Now I'm going outside the country. I have to do these radio spots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was actually day in, day out.
Still, that, you know, Wiz signed the deal and we felt like things are about to take off. There was so much coming to a head at that point that we had that feeling of, you know, what we were doing was going to be heard by the world.
You get a medium fries and a medium drink when you order any McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich on the app, which is perfect because you like your crispy, juicy tenders spicy. And spicy loves company. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
No, it doesn't, bro. Get back to the documentary.
We gotta go to sound check. I gotta get my hair cut. Not cut, but, you know, shaped up. I ain't cut my hair ever. I can't wait till it's like this.
Y'all ready for Wiz Khalifa? Let's go!
Everything was being filmed. And you can go back and see Wiz, and he's like, "You see this shit? Yeah, this is big boy shit."
Pittsburgh, make some motherfucking noise. Now where the motherfucking Taylor's at?
I always made sure that I documented everything so everybody knew who was with me. They knew where the slang was coming from. They knew that we all dressed the same and that we was, you know, it was a real game.
What's it like being a new smoker on deck in the hip-hop game?
It's cool, you know, to be hailed up there with some of the top smokers. It's kind of cool, man.
All my favorite rappers smoke weed, so for me, it was just natural. And Rolling Papers was the experiment for me to really, really go crazy with that.
Look at real G's smoke when they want to, man.
My whole attitude towards the game and how I walked into a room was like, you know what I'm saying? So that.
Don't do this at home, y'all. There's certain unique individuals who can maintain. Like, not everybody's a stoner, a successful millionaire stoner. You know, kids, stay in school until you figure out what you really got focused on, what you focused on trying to do. Now, I'm not saying stay the plan and the route of school because, come on, bro. Kids nowadays need to be more entrepreneurial focused. School ain't teaching nothing, bro. Let's be honest. So, but you can't think you're Wiz Khalifa or Snoop Dogg or Currency or all these guys who just get stoned and they're so productive and they're multimillionaires. Like, oh, Wiz does it, I can do it too. Like, nah. Wiz is probably super mentally strong in the sense, like, it's a mental thing to me. People are like, man, smoking makes you lazy. Bro, that's just you. There's perfect examples of people who are, you know, functioning smokers, so to speak. So and they're able to be very productive.
That was the thing I wanted you to know me by.
They said enough weed can't fit in a joint. You need to learn how to roll a fucking joint like your boy. Guess why? I don't know how much weed I put in here, man. I don't fucking count this shit, bro. Cheers.
Tony Montana.
I remember we're in Miami. Wiz made like 3 records with Jim Johnson. It was all bangers. And on my level, it had been like the first one they made. And he made that beat right on the spot.
Take one shot to the brain and on 3 more shots going in. Hey, I'm on my level. Yeah, I'm on my level. Yeah.
Hey, what? Bruh. Nipsey was in that video? My God, Nipsey hustle, man.
Hey, I'm on my level.
Nip and
yeah, I'm on my level.
Wiz was real cool, bro. My dog Nipsey, right here, man. R.I.P. to my boy, the marathon.
Yeah, I'm on my level. Yeah, I'm on my level. Yeah.
You straight though? We good to go though, right? You alright? Oh shit. Man. Good though, man. You alright? What's wrong?
He's on his level, bro.
Man, I'm high as fuck. Man, I swear I'm on my level. Man, it's like drunk. Man, I swear I'm on my level. Hit a pass out. Man, I swear I'm on my level. Get smashed out. My nigga, I swear I'm on my level. Man, I'm high as fuck. Man, I swear I'm on my level.
Hey, guess what I got in my cup?
Whoa. Don't ask this man what's in his cup.
Hey, man. I just chased it with gin, man.
I had just come off of cushion orange juice. I was just taking the equipment with me everywhere. Jerm was on the road making beats and just giving me instrumentals, and I would listen to beats over and over and over, and we would come up with song ideas and freestyle in the back of the bus, and that was the whole process of Rolling Papers. It was just like in motion.
Bringing the studio in, kid.
We trapped out a lot of hotels and got kicked out of a lot of hotels recording that album.
We're gonna get stoners night.
That record was full of confidence. Being on the road, seeing crazy sold out shows and knowing that it could really be real.
You see that light, man? Oh my goodness, man, that is stupid. Before you fucking talk out of here, cool on, you tell me you can't fit enough fucking marijuana in a joint. You come smoke with me, okay? Come smoke with us, man.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google.
Alright, come smoke with us,
big
man.
on the new Samsung Galaxy S22 series.
We went on a little winter tour right after our first tour had ended, and my hair was getting long as fuck. I was like, yo, I gotta do something with this shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go Super Saiyan on them. I'm gonna take off. It was right when I had named the album Rolling Papers. I went on Ustream and I revealed the album name. I was like, I'm gonna name it Rolling Papers, blah, blah. And I had a big ass blonde streak in my head. Through the labels. Like, yes, now we just need you to finish the album. We had just finished the first leg of our tour, and then I went to New York, and then they put me in the studio with Stargate, and that's when I started writing the songs. My initial plan was I was like, I'm only recording the songs for the album, and I'm gonna record a hook today, and then I'm gonna record a verse tomorrow, and I'm gonna record a bridge in 3 months. So they hated me, dog. They were like, yo, fucking put the album together, dog, please. Like, we wanna hear a complete song. I'm like, nah, I'm taking my motherfucking time.
Wiz went to New York. That's when he worked on I Roll Up and No Sleep and Black and Yellow. He came back and he was like, I got the record.
This song.
We always wanted to
life.
do rap music. Of course, we had no idea that we're gonna make a record and that single's gonna go to #1. You can't plant those things out.
Yeah.
It just happened.
That's God.
When I made Black and Yellow, I was like, I wanna have a standout moment. And to me, that song was that.
He capping, bro. I swear I heard an interview with Wiz was like, I didn't know that was the one. I didn't know. And it just blew. Now he like, I calculated this. Bruh, I ain't gonna discredit Wiz, but anytime, which I already did, but anytime, I feel like 9 times out of 10 artists don't really know. Some of them do know, like, oh man, this the one. But sometimes that is common where like, man, I was just in my element recording and we came up with a banger. Little did I know.
Play it. And he played it for me, and I was like, you sure?
So I think he played it for me over some laptop speakers, and I was like, that's all right.
Even people in Pittsburgh, when I played it, they didn't think it was gonna be the jam like that. But like, it was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, this is gonna be the song that's gonna put me on the map, and it's about my city.
He was like, bro, this is gonna hit. And I don't even think that he cared as much.
Said, bro, this gonna hit. It's funny when you so confident in something, and like everybody's like, it's like, bro, this is the one. People looking at you like, bro, no, it's not.
That it went with the Stillers. It went together with his car.
I wouldn't have bought the car black and yellow if it wasn't for Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? All of my jewelry at the time, I had black diamonds with the yellow diamonds. Like, that was my shit. I was like, Pittsburgh out. So when it came time to start picking the singles, there wasn't anything else I wanted to represent me. I'm like, what the fuck else am I gonna say? What else? I'm from Pittsburgh, nigga.
Make some motherfucking noise.
And Trey the Truth.
By August, it was time to pick the single, and I was like, Black and Yellow, and they were like, no, you need another single.
I was like, this ain't gonna work.
That's the thing, bruh. These fools don't know anything. No disrespect to these record labels in Atlantic Records. And no disrespect to anybody's opinion. You really don't know shit. You are not in control, bruh. There's bigger powers. There's bigger things at play. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is in control, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, you have the VP of marketing of Atlantic. Oh, this isn't gonna work, Wiz. We need you to go back to the drawing board, sir. Excuse me. We need you to go back to we need you to start from scratch. No, bro. Like, this is it. Then it was a banger.
If you know my town, then you see me, you know no one cares about your town, sir.
And I'm like, Black and Yellow. And we shot the video, we did this, we did that. They was like, that's not the one.
Do it big, yeah.
The way that he was shooting it and the way that he brought everybody together, there was tons of people out there.
When we were shooting the Black and Yellow video, the roof of Dairy Mart was going like this the whole time. I was like, this is such a liability, holy fuck.
I come out my house and there are all these people. They got crafty set up out on the sidewalk. I was babysitting my niece and nephew. We had a big pancake breakfast date scheduled. That was the same day that he failed to tell me we were filming the Black and Yellow video. That's how I got roped into cooking breakfast and being in the video.
Black and Yellow video? I drove all the way to Pittsburgh for this video. He wouldn't let me in the house. He kept us on the fucking porch. I was like, this motherfucker.
Man, I'ma do me.
When I first heard Wiz music, I knew he had something special. I could just smell it. I could smell the herbs and spices all over.
Snoop found out about Wiz through his children. And he had his kids put him on it, and that was it, take off. It was like, all right, I'm doing a remix. T-Pain, Juicy J, it makes so much sense to do.
This is a good remix.
Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. See, on the West Coast, I'm the big chief.
I started hearing it on the radio. People started remixing it and making it their own colors and stuff like that. That's kind of when you realize, like, oh, all right, yeah, this song is taking off.
Shout out my nigga Wiz Khalifa, but on some real shit. I see a lot of people up in here with the Pittsburgh Steelers jerseys.
This ain't a good song, but you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese whiz.
Lil Wayne came out with a green and yellow remix when we played the Green Bay Packers because he's a Packers fan. I mean, he definitely killed the beat.
When I got on the Rolling Stone cover, and like that's when it started going crazy. So I had hella shoots at that time. Like everything was magazine cover this, photo shoot that. But that one I'm like, all right, it's Rolling Stone, like we up, you know what I'm saying? After that, The Face, it took off. And it was a movie after that.
That boy blew up.
I want to hear your motherfucking biggest song from 2010, right? And the biggest song from 2010 came from you.
2010, that is wild, bro.
For me as a DJ, like, that's a dream come true, you know? I've been doing clubs for like 10 years. We got to do David Letterman, MTV Spring Break, George Lopez show, and the Steelers go to the Super Bowl that year.
By the time that tour was over, the record was huge, and then we went into the Super Bowl, and the Steelers were in the Super Bowl.
Bro, that timing is too perfect. That's God's work. Tell me how you gonna have a Black and Yellow song dedicated to the town of Pittsburgh, and then your team ends up being in the Super Bowl. So it's just perfect timing. You get to perform the biggest song of the year on probably one of the biggest stages.
It was like I couldn't have written this out. He didn't give a fuck. And there's a certain level of not give a fuck.
Well, I swear he performed Black and Yellow at the Super Bowl.
This that you need to be able to push through people who say it's not a hit, it's not this, it's never going to be. And that's why, slowly but surely, it was just like those bells just keep chiming. And it's like, you know what it is.
It's like
and
you don't know what you're talking
ends.
about.
It never ends.
Thank you. You sound real dumb.
Yeah, I'm a pop rapper. I'll pop up and make $5 million, nigga. Man, like, that's not even candy. Right now, we're headed home to Pittsburgh, and I am texting all of my bitches that's in Pittsburgh.
When we got off the road, I wanted to be with my home team. I wanted to make the album in ID Labs. And I felt like E-Dan and like the home team was the only people I could really build some music from the ground up with.
I was actually out vacationing with the fam, and I got the call that, you know, Wiz was coming back to Pittsburgh and he wanted to lock into the studio and work on the album. And I packed my things up and left the family on vacation and drove back to Pittsburgh, and we got started.
You gotta handle business, man. You provide to the family.
Right now as we speak. E-Dan.
I just started
That's
playing
crazy.
these chords.
Think about it, man. The guy who had a small studio and was engineering you when you was sweeping his floors is now engineering your major label debut.
And he heard something that he liked and was like, yeah, keep doing that. And
well, technically he had Deal or No Deal, which was kind of a flop. It was on Warner Brothers, I believe. They released it, but we're talking about Rolling Papers.
Next thing I knew, like, we were making the race.
I feel like he wanted us all to be a part somehow, even if you were giving him the smallest idea. And it was just cool to know that we were working towards the album and he was gonna put me on it or put E-Dan production on it. It's like, all right, this dude's really like lining this shit up for all of us to get a piece and be successful.
Happy 24th birthday, and this is to the future, man.
It was a great time because it was a new way of recording, a new way of living. That's what I think the story of Rolling Papers told. It told like the change of his lifestyle and everything.
What he be rapping about, it be real. People can never deny it. I lived it.
I'm not making no wish because everything that I fucking could ever wish for is already came true.
That nigga too smooth. Bro, you're a multi-millionaire. At that point, he was dating Amber Rose. I mean, he kind of had and he manifested that because I remember, it's funny, right? Wiz Khalifa's got a baby by Amber Rose today. They're not married still, but you know, that's Hollywood for you. But anyways, when he was still a small independent artist, he had this random hole in the wall interview. Dude asked him, man, who are some of the girls, in entertainment or in the industry that you got your eye on? And this is when he was a nobody, really. He was just going show to show, city to city, just doing these kind of hole in the wall spots. And he mentioned like Amber Rose, and he mentioned somebody else. Years down the line, he manifested it. He got Amber.
Get this, on Tuesday,
when it came out, like a lot of it just was #1s and platinum records.
It's your boy, Young Khalifa, man.
Think about how far we've come from playing shows from way smaller than where we are now to the world hearing this song. It touches your soul and overtakes your whole body with emotions.
Man, this shit means so much to me, dog. Just having my first fucking album coming out, dog. I don't work so fucking hard, man.
It chokes me up sometimes because I'll see him and you could tell he's getting emotional.
We all had our moments, dropping a tear, and we all talk about it. Like,
crazy,
nigga,
bro.
did you cry?
I'm comfortable with this shit, man. I don't give a fuck. Straight up. That's why I was talking about being Taylor, being comfortable being yourself, man. My whole fucking family's in this bitch. It's my little sister's birthday today, you know what I'm saying?
That's just like, it's not the finish line, but it's you arrived, right? The work never stops. You got it. Once you get to this point, you think the work's gonna stop. No, you got to keep grinding it out. You got to keep blowing up, getting bigger and bigger. This is when the work begins. But you gotta know how to pat yourself on the back and commend yourself when you make on the journey traveled, because, bro, like it's the arrival. That's the best way to put it. The arrival. You've arrived. And I don't even know what that feeling feels like. You know, it's a feeling I long to experience, to feel redeemed in the sense that, dang, this is what the work I was doing, like, it actually amounted to something. It came to fruition in some type of sense. So to see a lot of these entertainers have these like particular reactions, emotional reactions, is real, bro. Because these are real people who put in the work, and a lot of people told them they couldn't do it. To arrive at this place, it just, you can't explain. I just wouldn't be able to explain that feeling.
Young, gifted, not to mention out here making motherfucking millions. Yeah, I said it, motherfucking millions. Got my money up, I'm in the building. Yeah, I'm riding down, smoking my music loud. Kinda doing my thing, but disrespect to the niggas before me. Some smile up in your face, but then they on the low. Now I just not on my own.
I'm not sure what rolling papers means to the world. I just know, to me, it was a special time where we did something that suddenly everyone in the world was paying attention to. It really just got us excited and made us go even harder to do something that we thought was great.
Wiz Khalifa wasn't born in Pittsburgh. He spent the early years of his life living around the globe, from his birth in Minot, North Dakota, to Germany, the United Kingdom, and Japan. But he has claimed Pittsburgh as his home and often references it in his music. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare December 12th, 2012, to be Wiz Khalifa Day in the city of Pittsburgh.
Crazy, bro.
We have a motion and a second.
Once you get a day in your city, you arrived, my boy. Once you get a street named after you and all that, oh, this is Wiz Khalifa Street. This is Wiz Khalifa Day. Damn! You arrived, my boy. You definitely, made it to the homeland.
In favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
That's crazy.
He knows who he is. And when you know who you are, you don't have to do any stunts. You just live authentically.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I said if y'all ready for Wiz Khalifa, I need your hands up in the air, front to back. Hands up in the air. And they say they ballin', but I do it how the pros do. Where we going next week?
Wiz Khalifa, it's hard to describe like what he means to me because we experienced a lot together. From the small stages to the big stage. We've been to the different countries for the first time, all ends of the earth.
It's like my little brother. Even if I don't talk to him for a couple of weeks, we pick right up where we left off.
My stoner partner, amazing artist, amazing human being.
He's a great dad. definitely gonna be brother, uncle, whatever, son, all of that shit. There's so much shit I could say. That's my dog, man. I love that boy.
That's crazy, bro.
Wiz is just an all-around genius. What he did, he does not get enough credit for. Wiz set the bar for what was to come over the next 10 years, from the merch, to the weed, to the mixtapes, to finally the album coming out and taking over the world.
Wiz with the locks is way more contained, way more calculated. I'm sitting with the bosses, I'm sitting in the rooms that I need to be in. So I got my composure, and I'm still having so much motherfucking fun too.
Wiz is still legendary to this day, even though he could drop any song. The thing about Wiz, he's just too talented. I mean, he could drop any song, it could be a commercial hit or success. He's kind of been away from the limelight, but he's still a global star. Like, it's undeniable, homie's still a star. His star power is just not uncomparable. And financially, like I mentioned, he's continuously on the hip-hop Forbes list. Like, he has laid out the groundwork. From the newer generation of artists, it's him and Drake. You find him and Drake on the Forbes list all the time. And then you got the older artists like Jay-Z, Diddy, and Birdman. You don't see none of the young artists from the Drake era or even the Wiz era, which they're kind of in the same. Drake came a little bit before in a sense, but it's like they from the same era of rap. So it's like these two guys, it's just undeniable, the business acumen, the sense. You can be an artist, but be an entrepreneur behind it.
Still got a long way to go. A lot of artists to develop, a lot of vision to share.
Please welcome Wiz Khalifa.
He's never stopped. He's always evolving. He's always changing. But at the core of it, he's just a stoner from Pittsburgh.
We all wanted to make it in the game by being who we were. Because you keep getting to these other rooms. The shit is endless. It's endless, you know what I'm saying? So it's really just about staying true to yourself, and then you get a key to the next joint.
Wiz Khalifa to me is the rebirth of Snoop Dogg.
For sure.
Let's smoke on.
He the second Snoop.
Multi-platinum megastar, the one and only Wiz.
Who is Wiz Khalifa? Wiz Khalifa is a boss. He's a hard worker. He's a leader, but he's also a student.
You're not on my side, then I got a question, nigga.
Forever a student of the game.
A lot of shit done changed. New clothes, new cars, new things. The same boys that used to be at the bottom came up, that's what they say. Used to not be allowed in the building, but now we on the rooftop. Used to not be allowed in the building, but now we on the rooftop.
Young Khalifa,
lot of money, lot of luggage, lot of hoes. When you putting in work, that's how it goes. Lot of money, lot of luggage, lot of hoes.
Hey, shout out to Fabian, G Rios Jr. That boy recorded and mixed this hoe. Get it, gang. That right there is Wiz Khalifa, Still Rolling Papers, the documentary, man. I do agree, Wiz don't get enough credit, but you know how the world works when you're dead and gone. Oh my God, we loved him. He was so great. But no, I think there's gonna be a resurgence of Wiz Khalifa, honestly, because Wiz is just undeniably who he is, like, and his artistry is phenomenal. Yeah, there's the cat. People always say he talk about smoking weed too much, rolling papers, but if you look into sonically how he can create a record, dude is talent. He's just talent, pure gold. The melodies, the harmonizing, and then the lyrical content, the lyrical skill he provide. He's just one of those artists that can do it all. He's one of those artists. That's the word to put it in. He's not hip hop. He's an artist. He creates. So shout out to Wiz, man. Much love to Wiz. You know, definitely very influential even in my life at a certain point in time. Just pursuing creativity and being free in terms of who you are. You know, so yeah, shout out to Wiz, man. That was a dope documentary. Check that out. Still Rolling Papers. Hopefully, you know, much success, more blessings to come in the future for Wiz Khalifa. You know what I'm saying? So like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next video. We out of here.